Hey guys, welcome back to Big Lou TV. Wow, what Eurovision 2026 we had then. I think first of all I've got to say congratulations to Bulgaria. Yes, your first win. And I'd say I did not see that coming. No, I don't think a lot of people did. But I had to go back and watch my reaction video to it. And I gave it a 7.5, and I thought top 15, I said at the time, maybe top 10. But I have to say, she really improved staging from national final to the Eurovision itself. And that does show you, if you get your staging right, make it captivating, you can really move your song from maybe top 10 middle right towards the top. So congratulations. Maybe I will take a visit to Bulgaria. But yeah, I thought let the dust settle from the results for a little while. Then I'll put this video up because your emotions can be quite high. You might say something in the heat of the moment that you shouldn't have said. But now I'm going to go through semi-final 1 results today analysis, and we'll do semi-final 2 next week and the final. And give us your thoughts below on the scores. I've done it quite simple, people. I'll put them in green if it was in the top 5 in the televote or the jury. Red if it was in the bottom 5 of each. And blue for an interesting point to make. Right then, so semi-final 1 results, and let's get to it. Okay then, so first of all, Israel. So you won the telephone vote here in jury 1 and overall, because I've put this in top 10. These are 10 qualifiers, 5 non-qualifiers. Quite a high vote, but I guess that wasn't unexpected. It's still very high with the jury. I must say he sang it very well. So I can understand actually why you got a lot of points. You know, talking about just from the music, because I don't generally discuss politics on this channel. But it is interesting to note the producers knew then Israel had won this semi-final by quite a big margin, quite a big score, and they were put quite early in the running order in the grand final, same as last year. So I think that's quite interesting to note, don't you? Right, on to Poland then. Well, I didn't think this would actually get through. I thought it was a bit all over the place, the song. But she was an extremely talented singer. So I can understand why then she got such a high jury vote. And the staging really improved, similar to Bulgaria, from the national final. So jury really appreciated it. But I was surprised how high telephone vote it got, to be perfectly honest with you. But there you go, so in top 5. On to Finland then. Well, Finland, you were overall betting odds favourite, weren't you, going into it? And jury still gave it quite a high score, but telephone voters, they're not as on board with it. With the jury as well, interesting, obviously, Swedish winners and Finland, I'll come to Sweden later, but they very much now really put a lot of time and effort into their production for the national final, and then just copy and paste it to Eurovision. I'm wondering if that's starting to become a disadvantage because they don't bring anything unexpected then when it gets to Eurovision. Interesting, but still one of your best results in recent years, Finland, so I don't think you should be disappointed. Very good, but it's just surprising the betting odds got it totally wrong, didn't they, this year? We might do a video about that later down the line. Right, Moldova. Well, yes, when I first saw this and been listening to it a lot over the months, yes, this is the televote song, isn't it? So no surprise it was extremely high. It was second here in the telephone vote. And no surprise that the jury didn't appreciate it as much, but it would easily have enough to get through, as it did. So well done, Moldova. We love having you at the party. Well, maybe you can win it soon. Now Bulgaria have come and won it, you know. Because you always send very strong songs, at least televote songs. So really what Moldova needs to do, you need to somehow be able to get your jury scores up, because then you could be on to a win. Yeah. Right, Serbia. I didn't think Serbia would go through because it just wasn't my sort of song, but I guess I have to think, well, other people like this hard sort of metal edge to a song, and yeah, and so the telephone voters rewarded it handsomely here. Well, as much from the jury, but still not a terrible score. It's not in the single figures or down right at the bottom. So, yeah, well done, Serbia. Right, we're here at the bottom end of the qualifiers now. Croatia. Well, yeah, I can see the spectacle was fantastic. I like the floating woman at the start, and very well performed. I can see probably why it's got very similar scores. Jury and televote both appreciate it very well and easily through to the final. Well done, Croatia. Right, Greece. Greece is an interesting one. It got more with the jury than the televote, which really, really surprises me because it seemed like a televote song. And everyone was loving it, and people love computer games now. I love computer games. I love Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, loads of games I love, and so it would tapped into maybe younger audience would like the visuals. Jury probably loved the staging because he went into different rooms and the visuals, and then they got the dancers doing some choreography. But I'm quite surprised here. I'd have expected more from televote than a jury for that song, and not as high as I thought. So interesting. But I will say I don't think the song itself was fantastic. Maybe that's why. Maybe don't shoot me, people of Greece. It was a good song, but yeah, I think the song song could still have been a lot better with the same staging, and you would have got a much higher result. That's just my thoughts. I'm just one person from the UK, people. Right, on to Lithuania. I was struggling to see who would vote for this, to be honest. I know, obviously, it's easy to remember because it was silver painted, and I felt the song was a bit shouty, though. And it's got similar sort of points from both, so obviously found a few fans that seemed to like it, and that's why I got through to the final. So well done, Lithuania. You were doing quite well recent years, actually, getting into the final quite often. So yeah, not much to say about that really. I can understand why it was quite low on both scores, but still enough to get through. So well done. Well, here we go. This is the interesting one, isn't it? Sweden. Now, I think this song's similar to the Austrian song the other year, like "We Will Rave," but there have been a few sort of songs in this genre that have not done well. But to get so low, again, as I mentioned to Finland earlier, is it the copy and paste nature? I mean, I know they've copy and pasted songs like Loreen, do like that at Melody Festival, and just do the same at Eurovision, can win. But I'm wondering if it's starting to maybe the diehard fans notice there's not much difference. She did some difference with the lasers, which I thought was good. But again, I don't really discuss politics. But it's interesting that she got such a low televote song, televote score, and I wonder, people, if some of the comments were made after she won had an effect. I wonder. You got to ask these questions. But they still rewarded Sweden with a high jury score, and that's why it made the final. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a national inquiry in Sweden, because in 2008, when Charlotte probably technically didn't get through on the scores, it was only with a special wildcard the jury's got. This is along the same lines. I was surprised it was the overwhelming favourite actually in Melody Festival. I'd have chose Grazula, and I even think Myra with Duset Duran would have done better actually. So I'm surprised it was an overwhelming favourite. I know she wears her mask, but I think that is a big drawback to a performer. You need to be able to see your face. But that's just my thoughts really, with the televote score there. So, but they scraped in with a high jury. Belgium, here we go, then Belgium. Belgium was in my top 10 as well. I mean, Sweden actually, I put second. I was listening to it all the time. But yeah, Belgium. I really love Belgium. Dancing on the ice, and it was very hypnotic. I think that the jury appreciated it because it did sound like a modern sounding song, and performed fairly similar to the music video. I don't think the vocals I think they were quite on point actually. It's a hard song to sing, that one. And the jury appreciated it. So without the jury, it wouldn't have got through. So maybe they just enjoyed, and I did like her walking down the catwalk, and people saying it's maybe quite polished. Maybe the jury appreciated that. So I was glad it was in the final because I thought it was a good song. But I can probably see why telephone voters weren't on board with it. But well done, Belgium. I really enjoyed that song, and it's one that I'm going to keep playing, I think, for years to come. So I can see why the jury gave it a high score. Right then, here we go, on to the non-qualifiers. And it's interesting here. So let's go straight with Estonia. I did think it sounded quite dated, Estonia, like 20, 30 years old song. It wasn't for me, But if it was just telephone vote alone, it would have got through. So that's interesting. 46 telephone votes, so it would have beat these ones here. But jury didn't get it high enough. And maybe that's because the jury felt it was a bit dated. But obviously there's still just enough support for that sort of song. And it stood out, girl band, to have got through. So unlucky there, Estonia. Right, Portugal. I thought this would get through because it stands out from the pack. And when Portugal sends songs like this, it normally does well. But not in this case this year. Very low scores on both. And obviously just didn't capture the imagination of Europe this year. So unlucky Portugal. But yeah, it wouldn't have got through either. It was bottom 5 with both there. So there's less argument, I think, from you can have there. Montenegro. They were debating, well, they're going to come back next year because they struggle every year to get into this final. And they would have got through with televote. So, and I did say, I think Eastern Europe would have liked it. So you're a bit unfortunate there, Montenegro, but not enough for the jury. It must be hard to spread the points here. So unfortunate, Montenegro. That's a bit unlucky. And on to the bottom 2 now. San Marino. I really enjoyed San Marino. It made my top 10 as 10th. I thought it was a fun song, but it's San Marino. It's going to struggle for telephone votes, as we see here, 23. And if it's not going to be a song the jury are going to appreciate, San Marino will probably struggle to qualify because they struggle to get telephone votes even when they send a good song. Well, I guess Serhat, he did all right there, didn't he? But so maybe that San Marino should try to focus on jury songs because otherwise I think it's hard for them to get through to the finals. That's my thoughts on that. So unlucky. And Georgia, I think with all the other songs, they had a standout signature. All I remember from Georgia was the guy doing this with his hands during the chorus, side to side like he was playing the piano. It was all right song, but I just thought, who's going to vote for it? It's all right, but it blends in, I felt, with a typical Eurovision song to a degree. But maybe quite unfortunate to get as low points as that. I didn't expect it to get as low as that. But there you go, again, small country can struggle, and the song just didn't stand out for me. So yes, that is my quick analysis. That's as quick as I could do it, people. You don't want to be here all day, do you? My analysis of the qualifiers. And like I said, I've mentioned a few points. Based on how they do, can depend where they put them in the running order. So, obviously they still have to pick things out of the hat, which can make their life a bit harder with where they want to place the song producers. But yeah, here's the semi-final 1 results, and I think it's quite a lot to analyse there. Quite a lot of interesting points to think about for the countries and delegations for next year's, and which songs have done well and which haven't. So yes, that's my thoughts. Give us your opinions below, and I will be doing the same sort of video for semi-final 2 and the final. Yeah, interesting. Right, I'll see you soon, people. Enjoy the rest of the summer now. The weather's improving, so enjoy. Right, bye.